Please rise for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome. Today is Tuesday, November 13th, 2018. Can I have a roll call, please?
Missouri? Here. Basil? Whaling?
Here.
Capros?
Here.
Meyer? Here. Kraus?
Here. Get the minutes from October 22nd. Are there any changes? If not, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion on the
Second.
floor. There's a second on the motion. Any questions? Roll call.
Missouri? Yes. Whaling?
Yes.
Capros?
Yes.
Meyer?
Yes.
Kraus?
Yes.
Is there anyone from the audience wish to address the board? If not, I would ask that we take item number 10, which is as of our, and ask them to make their presentation.
My name is Tom Fagan. I'm from Azavar Government Solutions. We are a company that's been around for about 22, 23 years, but have been doing our audits for the last 12 to 13 years. We support over 200 municipalities in Illinois. And basically the gist of what we do is that we make sure that the utility providers are making sure that they are remitting all the taxes to you per each household. So we're able to do this with agility with our proprietary software, so we're making sure that all the addresses on their rolls are remitting correctly to your rolls. So basically we're placing on top of each other your water billing or GIS billing list against the provider list and making sure that each and every address is coded correctly. We also do things in sales tax to make sure that IDOR has their remittance list correct. So we work with the municipality on that. Some cases of what we've just found in the last probably 3 to 4 months are, we found Springfield about $980,000 of Comcast revenue. They miscalculated gross operating revenue. In Summit, there was 4 addresses on Harlem Avenue that were being remitted by IDOR to Chicago and not Summit, one of which being at Dunkin' Donuts. So those are just some examples of the work that we do. The beauty of the program is it's contingency based, so it doesn't cost the municipality anything, but to share with us what we find for a specific amount of time, which is 36 months. The municipality gets 55%, we get 45%. So if we find $100, we're splitting that for 36 months, and then it's annuity in perpetuity to the municipality. I'm gonna leave it right there. If anybody has any specific questions, I'll be happy to answer it.
Back in the early 90s, we did this on the expense side with our electric, gas, and telephone bills. And it was a very similar arrangement, and they did find a substantial number of circuits on our phone bill that we were no longer using that we were still paying for. But this is on the revenue side, and one of the hesitations I've always had is I think our revenue is pretty tight. But in talking with them, they're willing to take that chance and find their 45% share for 3 years. So you got nothing to lose.
How
to do it.
Did you guys approach us, or did we go looking for this, or how did this even
I've
start
known
to come about?
I've known about Azavar for several years. I see them at meetings all the time. This one was finally a connection with all the partners at the Illinois Municipal League Convention, where I challenged them. They wanted to come and do this for Beecher, and I'm like, I don't think the money's there for you guys. You're wasting your time. We'll take that chance. I said, okay, fine. So here we are tonight. You got nothing to lose, I don't think. The utility companies, they don't look favorably on us doing this, though, do they?
We've done it for so many now, that they pretty much are in lockstep when they hear Azavar's name. Comcast, we're tightening up their store a little bit too as well on their miscodings. We're just making sure that the municipality's getting every penny and dollar it's so deserving, and it's money that you wouldn't know is owed to you unless you're doing the address by address by address by address.
Do you do the telecommunications tax as well?
We do. The E911, we're starting to do an audit on that as well. And we also do a telecom payable audit as well. We have somebody within Nitz, that was an AT&T representative for 25 years, that looks at all your telecom, as well as we do gas payable and electric cable, to make sure you're getting the biggest bang for your buck. We just found Matheson, $42,000 of telecom revenue because AT&T left POTS lines still activated, not enough exemptions on the bill, so we go through those as well.
And you will invoice us for your share once you proved us that you generated that revenue.
Correct, we
So I
don't
have
get
to worry
paid.
about what your share is, your bill is for.
Correct, we don't get paid until you get paid, so if you were to sign the contract today, it would take about 6 to 9 months to start seeing results from the audits, because we have to go through the non-disclosure agreements, getting all the information from the municipality, getting the information from the provider, and then actually doing the audit. But we're able to do it with agility and relatively quickly, and that's why we're able to, give back money. We've never not found money in the municipality. There's sometimes that the reviews come back with 0 exceptions, and that's a salute and a way to go, and way to go ComEd or NICOR, and that's it. There's no upfront fees or back-end fees, it's just sharing.
And you bill us monthly then, or quarterly?
That is correct, and we bill monthly
Monthly, so
per
they'll
each
see on their
address.
list of bills every month.
Correct.
Okay.
It'll be per each address. The other thing is, the utility companies usually give you a 24-month average of what an address would do, and that's what the billing would be based on. So if a residential address does $250 a month, we'd be splitting 55, 45 of $2.50 of that address.
Any other questions? If not, thank you.
Thank you so very much.
Jeanette's gonna throw a pen at me, but we're gonna do item number 9 next, which would be, since A came before H is next.
You wanna vote on this agreement first? Well, as long as
Is there
it's-
an agreement that we have to vote on?
Do we need a motion on this?
Consider a proposal to investigate.
How do we know what they get us? How do we know we're receiving that? How is that broken out from the rest of the telecommunications tax that we're already receiving and everything else? And the sales tax and,
Oh, I'm sorry,
how do we know what you're getting us?
we,
Like, how do we know that the difference between what you've got us versus what we were already getting in the telecommunications tax?
good question. So at the end of each audit, so they're all running concurrently, we send Bob a detailed audit accounting as well as a verification memo, so you know which addresses were changed in the communications between the provider, whether it be Comcast, NICOR, ComEd, so that you know what we did to make the addresses that were incorrect, correct going forward. We are also able to go backwards 3 to 4 years, depending on your TBOR and taxpayer bill of rights and your ordinances. Right now, ComEd is in a settlement with Des Plaines from what we found back in 2005, and they're finally coming forward. So there's about 39 to 45 communities now that will get back taxes from ComEd from their misappropriation.
But you guys were already paid on that then?
We weren't already paid, Des Plaines is the standard, is the court proceeding that's going on that will make the other municipalities step in line once we get it.
So it's not until it's received, I mean, you could find it, but if it's something that gets hung up on their end, on that, unless we receive it, you're not getting paid.
Correct.
Hopefully it still sounds good to me.
So basically, we're not getting paid until we prove to the municipality that we've done all the due diligence to get the addresses paid from that utility provider. So, the back money is a different story. It's if we can get it going backwards, but sometimes you can't. It depends on the service provider. They might not have that information, or we've had times where it's been hard to get the back money, but it's just going forward that you know that every address in your rolls is being accounted for by the provider. We're making sure that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing.
So this is mainly like address checking and making certain that basically it's double checking addresses and making sure all this stuff is being paid.
Correct.
Okay.
And with the sales tax, we're making sure that iDoor has everything coded correctly as well, just case in point where I said about Summit. There's a lot of miscodings that happen with iDoor on outskirts of town or borders of towns like Harlem Avenue, Chicago and Summit, things like that. If a municipality shares the same zip code, a lot of miscodings happen there because they're thinking it's, you know, Moni or Beecher, which one, you know, that there's a lot of times where, you know, we're looking at rates and boundaries, we're making sure that they're charging the correct rates and that they're making sure that everything within your boundary is as it should be for Beecher.
So in other words, those sales taxes that the residents are paying, that they're getting in whatever portion that they send us, it's in our boundary, we're getting paid for what we should be for Beecher.
Correct.
Not like Peatone might be getting some of our households because the lines aren't proper. Is
No,
that
we're
what
looking
you're
for
saying?
just Beecher to make sure that the addresses within Beecher are remitting to Beecher.
Right, so potentially you're saying in this audit, you could find that other surrounding communities are getting some of what we should be getting
And
within
within-
the boundaries?
No.
Somebody said no.
I can't imagine that, there's too much unincorporated land between us.
Well, see, you don't know until you get to the 5,000 foot level instead of the 40,000 foot level of what's being remitted to who. If we find something that's not supposed to be remitting to you, it's within the contract that we just let you know that, and we step back from that. We're just here to gain money for the municipality.
So can you tell, for instance, if you have a business here and maybe it has a different home address or whatever, some other municipality is getting their sales tax?
We don't, well, basically, what we're doing is we're working with the municipality. So for Illinois Department of Revenue taxes, we're basically sending you a letter to send to IDOR, because we can't technically get the address list. So whatever we get back from IDOR, that's what is on their official rolls to say, these are what we have for Beecher. And then with our third-party systems, as well as our proprietary software, we're looking on the whole outskirts of Beecher as well as inside to make sure that every business that's supposed to be remitting is remitting to Beecher. And that's what we're looking for.
And the reason I don't think they're gonna find a lot, and they're willing to accept the challenge, is because we do manual checks of those lists every year. We provided them from ComEd. We do not get one from AT&T or Nicor, we do ComEd's list.
We get NICOR.
We do get Nicor's, okay, we check Nicor's list, we check ComEd's list, we check the sales tax list we get from the state. So we think we're pretty tight. They're claiming they're gonna find stuff.
And basically, it's a check of a check. If there's nothing to find, it's no money. It's $0.
You got a list of references, typically when you'd see something like this with your packet, you'd have a list of, multiple municipalities that you've done this for with.
Yes. In this area, Midlothian, signed Moni in the last 2 years. Richmond Park just signed with us a month ago.
Who do you have that,
Matheson,
who do you have that, like, I would be able to contact and they'd say, yeah, they found us X amount
Matson.
of dollars and we're receiving it.
Matson,
Matson?
Ron Heller, Finance Director. Anthony Burton, Village Administrator.
Anyone else? Hearing?
Midlothian, Maggie Britton.
Anyone else?
I'm just going off the top of my head. Glenwood. I can't think of her name. And the mayor in Glenwood would speak highly of us as well.
For Kevin Walsh.
Or Kevin Walsh, yeah. But it's the finance director. I can't think of her name.
I will make a motion to, accept a proposal to investigate revenue accuracy from utilities and vendors, with Azabar.
Motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
There is a second, any questions on the motion? Roll call.
Wait, I got a question. So, by there being a motion, if this were to get voted down, it couldn't come back up, correct?
The people that voted no will be able to bring it up at the next meeting if there was a majority. those would have to bring up a motion to reconsider.
Or you could request to withdraw the motion now and then just motion to table if that's what you wanna do.
There's a motion.
Any other questions? Roll call.
Kraus,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Caprows,
No.
Whaling,
Yes.
Missouri,
Yes.
Okay, good luck.
Hey,
I'll send the signed contract tomorrow, but
okay, we look forward to working with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Item number 9.
Consider an ordinance for granting a special use in a B1 historic downtown business district for a crematorium at the Hack Funeral Home, 753 Hodges. After due notice and public hearing at which one person objected to the special use on the grounds that it would generate more traffic in the area, the PZC recommended unanimously to recommend the special use on the condition that no smoke or odor ever emanate from the self-contained unit. The unit will be installed in the garage at the rear of the funeral home, and please see the enclosed ordinance, finding of fact, and other related material. Is there any questions? I make a motion to approve an ordinance, to consider an ordinance, number
1296.
1296.
I make a motion for ordinance number 1296, granting a special use in a B1 historic downtown business district for a crematorium at Cack Funeral Home, 753 Hodges.
There's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
A second to the motion, any questions?
Yeah, I just had, no alterations have to be made to the garage to install this?
other than a hole for the vent.
Other than the hole, yeah.
Any other questions? Roll call.
Missouri,
Yes.
Whaling,
Yes.
Caprows,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Kraus,
Yes.
Okay, with that, we have the reports of the commission, beautification. Yeah.
Got that treasurer's report?
I think commissions come first.
I'm never gonna take things out of order again. Commissions are first. Beautification Commission, trustee Matt Connor.
I wasn't able to attend the last meeting, but I know they ordered the park bench in honor of Paul Loman. So that should be coming soon. We'll get that installed as soon as it comes in.
should be delivered tomorrow morning. We got a call today.
Oh, okay, well, there you go. That's it.
4th of July Commission, trustee Meyer.
We had our dinner a couple of weeks ago, and our next meeting is going to be November 27th, I believe. Other than that, everything is locked up for the year. We're gonna be working on our budget coming up for next year, which will be very tight. That's all I have to report.
Thanks. Youth Commission, trustee Missouri.
We just held our event for Nerf Wars last Sunday. It was well registered and attended. We had 114 register, 107 attended. And I have to give a big thank you to the youth advisors. They really got a lot of kids to volunteer. So we had 15 kids help us with that, which was phenomenal. Because Beecher Youth Commission is really striving to look for volunteers and potential commissioners. With these events, it seems like they're enjoyable, and we're running out of manpower to continue to run them, so pass the word. Usually our meetings are the third Wednesday night here at the Village Hall of every month at 7:30. This month, we're having it tomorrow night here at the Village Hall at 7:30, if anybody wants to attend. That's all I have.
Have we lost commissioners?
Yeah, we have. We just recently lost one, a few, last meeting, so what are we down to? I feel like we're down to having 6 to 7 right now.
Historic preservation, trustee Williams.
Okay, we had our meeting, we are still on the sign program, designating properties around the village and the Washington Township. We found out that we have 6 signs that haven't been installed yet, and I'm gonna be sending out letters to see if we can get those installed. because obviously we can't go out there and install them on buildings ourselves. It has to be done by the property owners. Due to Thanksgiving, our monthly meeting was changed to Wednesday, November 28th at 6 p.m. at the depot. And
Can you get the meeting done by 7 so you can come to the speaker? That's the same night as the speaker.
yeah, we'll get it done.
One question for, your ordinance passed? You don't have to stay. You can leave.
I'm curious.
Okay, I'll get you a copy of your ordinance, and we'll also file it with the county, so it's official. But
Okay.
you're done.
All right, thank you. See what else you guys are up to?
That's fine. Welcome.
So, yeah, that ends my report.
Thank you. Treasurer's report.
The total in the village accounts is $3,305,408.41. The total in general, $1,064,692.18. The total in the commission accounts, $202,190.18. The total of all accounts together, $3,507,598.59. For the commission bills and non-AP payments, the total for October was $773,143.42. You can see there was the large payment to IHC Construction, $489,934. We also had 3 payrolls in October, so that's one of the reasons our number was so high. Are there any questions? That ends my report.
Is there a motion?
I'd like to make a motion approving the treasurer's report and report of financial activity for last month.
Motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
There is a second, any questions of motion? Roll call.
Kraus,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Caprows,
Yes.
Whaling.
Yes.
Missouri.
Yes.
Variance reports are enclosed for your review. And then the bills to approve, you were sent out copies of the bills prior to the meeting, and there are some additions for Baxter and Woodman, HR Green.
G-Stack, pardon?
Pardon?
G-Stack.
I'm gonna walk right past that one.
Guaranteed technical service.
Oh, yeah, guaranteed technical services. Alright, so I would like to make a motion to approve the bills for October in the amount of $179,087.34.
Motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
There's a second, any questions of motion?
Just under comments, the Baxter and Woodman bills, most of those are reimbursed by EPA loan. We don't pay them until we get our loan.
Any other questions or comments? Roll call.
Missouri.
Yes.
Whaling.
Yes.
Caprows.
Yes.
Meyer.
Yes.
Kraus.
Yes.
Item number 9 and 10 are done, item number 11, Chief Alford.
Consider a resolution of support for the Safe Routes to School grant to close gaps in public sidewalks and subdivisions. We are applying for a $200,000 grant for this project, and all we have to pay for is the engineering portion of the project. Public Works has identified 4,742 eligible feet of sidewalk that can be installed for this grant. It's recommended that this resolution be approved. I'd like to make the motion.
2018-11.
Resolution of support for the Safe Routes to School grant.
Motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
There's a second, any questions of that motion? Roll call.
Kraus.
Yes.
Meyer.
Yes.
Caprows.
Yes.
Whaling.
Yes.
Missouri.
Yes.
Item number 12.
Consider a motion declaring the following pieces of equipment as surplus property and authorizing for sale through a bid process and a minimum bid requirement. Everyone should have pictures of the trucks that we're looking at. The following pieces, equipment that have been declared for surplus by the committee, and a minimum value of bid has been established for each. The equipment is as follows: a 1990 GMC Top Kick, 1988 Ford F800, and a 1990 Ford Flatbed. snow wolf plow for the skid steer, and a 2005 Chevy Impala. So everyone should have pictures of it.
That old equipment served us well for many years.
Proceeds from the silent auction would be placed in the capital equipment sinking fund, which is what we use to purchase stuff out of. Bids would be due by 10 a.m. on Thursday, December 6th, at which time they'd be open. Cash, cashier's check or money order would be required before the title is transferred. I'll go ahead and make a motion declaring the following pieces of equipment as surplus property and authorizing the sale through bid process and a minimum bid requirement.
Motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
There is a second, any questions? Roll call.
Missouri?
Yes.
Whalen?
Yes.
Capros?
Yes.
Meyer?
Yes.
Kraus?
Yes.
Consider a proposal to build a GIS for the water distribution system. M.E. Simpson in the amount of $10,450 per year, or for 2 years. It's per year for 2 years, but that's not right. It would be $10,450 for this year, but the second year would be more, right? Because if we, potentially, if we buy the,
If we buy that separate
Yeah,
unit
so-
for GIS-ing stuff ourselves,
it's
yes.
it's a,
Right, we're not committing to that tonight, though.
Right.
okay.
Yeah.
The system would allow public works employees to access locations and types of valves right from their phones, whether it's dark or there's snow on the ground. Basically, this GIS system, it just basically, they have it on their phone. Ideally, what we'd like to see is a laptop for Matt, or not a laptop, a tablet.
Tablet, yeah.
For Matt, where basically you're just holding it and it'll tell you when you're standing on top of it. We have water main breaks, especially in the winter if there's snow. These guys will be shoveling through banks of snow for 2-3 hours before they can even find the valve to try to get the water main shut down to get to work on it. It also allowed, it was amazing what this system can do. Anytime there's a service call or something on that, through this program, you can go in and you can make notes that this was done. A valve's replaced, boom, you take a note, it's done. When Simpson comes in, they do our valve turning system. We got the village divided into thirds. So as they come through, it's all registered in there, and then it would be noted, if there was any problems turning them and that. It notes all the sizes. It's actually it's a pretty amazing system. And the beauty of it is, moving forward after you purchased it, it's like, was like what, $3,000 a year?
Yeah.
With the, it was
Further
1,500,
rights
but
to
then,
it, yeah.
yeah, how many rights you have to it.
Yeah.
It would be like $3,000 a year. Anytime you leave, all the information is yours. It's not like if you were to leave it, you lose it all. That's all your information. You would always still have that. It's actually a really neat thing. And then moving forward, it's weird how they explain it in layers. But the hope is for them to add sanitary to
Next,
it.
and then storm, yeah.
Yeah, and storm. It's actually a pretty neat system, but gone are the days of, looking for old work orders and knowing whether or not you did something there, or, we've had problems before of, especially, our water system's so old, of old vacant, deserted and abandoned valves and lines and stuff. It's actually pretty neat, and it'll bring us up to date. So I'll go ahead and, make a motion to, approve a proposal to build a GIS for the water distribution system, to M.E. Simpson in the amount of $10,450.
Motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
There's a second, any questions on the motion? Roll call.
Kraus?
Yes.
Meyer?
Yes.
Capros?
Yes.
Whalen?
Yes.
Missouri?
Yes.
Okay. Consider a partial payment, number one, to Bisping Construction in the amount of $164,644.59 for the Dunbar water main replacement. The project, when it's said and done, it should be coming in at about $231,000. Right now, that leaves about $67,000 still out there. on the project for restorations that still need to be completed, anticipating spring of 2019 for that. So I'll go ahead and make a motion for the partial payment to Bisping Construction in the amount of $164,644.59 for the Dunbar water main.
Motion on the floor. Motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
Just make sure there's nothing to add after the thing.
No, that's just a project. It's all the same.
Zurich,
Yes.
Whalen,
Yes.
Gross.
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Kraus.
Yes.
Question, did the pavement get done yet?
No.
It didn't. Is it possible it might not get done till spring? Or are they gonna?
No, they're saying it's gonna get done this year. So we got some nice weather coming up, so. I've talked to Vince from All Pro. They're the company that Bisbing is contracted through to do Dunbar Street for us, so it will get done this year, yeah.
Okay. Consider a motion authorizing the acceptance of a proposal for the replacement of water main on Oak Park from Indiana to Penfield. This is an.
Excuse me, run back up one. You're on number.
Okay. Consider a motion authorizing the waiving of bids for the replacement of water mains on Oak Park Avenue between Indiana and Penfield due to an emergency. This motion is compatible for the following action items, so we have, with Dunbar, and we've always said this, we try to plan out the water system, right, where our next one, and there was always talk that, you know, we'd like to see Gould done next. I've always been a firm believer that, and this is kind of showing us that the water system tells us where we're gonna fix next. It finds the next leak, or the next problem area, right, so it always finds the weakest link. And it's done it once again. So we replaced Dunbar Street where we had all kinds of problems, and now the problem is moved to Oak Park. Oak Park, we have received complaints from a whole block from Indiana to Penfield, where people have basically no water pressure. Public Works has gone in and tried to blow out some of the service lines and that. Slight improvement, still not where it should be. At the committee meeting, we actually had a resident come in that lives on that block to let us know about their problem. So if we're willing to waive the bid replacement, my thought was, and what we've gone ahead and done, and you'll see this moving forward in the next couple of motions, is we went ahead and got pricing from contractors who have bid Dunbar and Penfield and Elm and Birch and Maxwell, all our latest projects. These three local contractors have been pretty much the three lowest on all of them, kind of competing. Brandt had gotten Maxwell and Penfield, Bisping was there, and then the third one was M&J Underground on Mooney. They've always been right there, like number two, you know, just kind of missing out between them. These three contractors always seem to be the three lowest bids, so we asked them to, if they could give us pricing to do this in an emergency situation. And what this allows us to do is, by declaring this an emergency situation and waiving the bid process, it'll save us about 60 to 90 days minimum on the design and bid process, which these are the people that are gonna bid it anyway. Typically, I always like to go through that process, because you never know what's gonna happen, but we'd be looking at spring, and it's just too long to let these residents wait for that situation. So, anyone doesn't have any questions, I'm gonna go ahead and make a motion authorizing the waiving of bids for the replacement of water mains on Oak Park Avenue between Indiana and Penfield due to an emergency.
Motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
There's a second, any questions on the motion?
Yes, is there any rough idea as far as the cost?
Yeah, I got
It's
it.
gonna be the next motion.
Okay.
We got two bids.
All right.
yet.
But yeah, the
Okay.
pricing's good.
Any other questions? Roll call.
Kraus,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Gross.
Yes.
Whalen.
Yes.
Zurich.
Yes.
Okay. You got 'em?
Yep, they all have them on.
Okay. Consider a motion motion authorizing the acceptance of a proposal for the replacement of water main on Oak Park Avenue from Indiana to Penfield. So everybody should have a thing where Baxter Holman gave us, the pricing. One of them, Bisping, declined to bid it right now. So we were able to get two. Brandt, who did, Maxwell and Penfield, was the lowest, and they came in at $72,113.42. The other bonus to this is in water main replacement in this year's budget, we had gone off of engineer estimates, which I knew were gonna be high, of $389,000 for Dunbar. And Dunbar, as I stated earlier, is gonna probably come in at about $231,000. Moving forward with this at $72,000 with Brandt Excavating, even with the engineer fees for construction management with observation and stuff, we're probably gonna come in under $85,000, which still puts us under the budgeted amount for Dunbar alone by probably $90,000, or no, $70,000, I'm sorry. We'll be about $70,000 under budget for Dunbar with adding this in, and this getting done also. So it would be my recommendation that we, approve the proposal from Brandt Excavating for $72,113. So I'll go ahead and make a motion authorizing the acceptance of a proposal for the replacement of water main on Oak Park from Indiana to Penfield to Brandt Excavating for the amount of $72,113.42.
Motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
Any second, any questions?
Yeah, under discussion, just add what John is saying here. Because you've declared an emergency, okay, and because the water main is not increasing in size, we do not need a permit from the EPA to do this work. That also means you don't have to do the design for the water main, which on a job like this probably would cost you 15 to 20 grand, so you're saving that kind of money by doing this tonight. So this is an advantage to the taxpayer or to the ratepayer why we're doing this.
When are they gonna start this?
Well, that's
It'll
my
be as
next
soon as-
issue. If this gets approved, we're gonna talk about the schedule, because they wanna start next week. So we will get into that, they wanna start.
It'll
next
be
week.
after Thanksgiving, or in between Thanksgiving and December 1st is the latest that we were told by them.
The latest?
Yeah.
To
and
start it?
To start, yeah, and they'll be done before Christmas.
Any other questions or comments?
Have the residents been notified?
Not yet.
I know you said they all came in, but
I have a drafted letter that I'll be putting out tomorrow if this passes tonight.
Yeah,
we're
we're
gonna
required to
go
put
to
a
the
link to
window.
this out too.
yeah, I just,
I'm sure we don't have anything.
Going once, going once.
Roll call. Roll call.
Missouri,
Yes.
Bailey,
yes.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Myers,
Yes.
Kraus.
Yes.
Just as a companion, it had nothing to do with that specific motion, but I got a price from Baxter to run this job. Now, it's not on the agenda tonight, because I didn't get it until Saturday, I believe it came. Is it the consensus of the board to authorize me to sign that in case they start before the 28th of November? To get going on the job? Mr. Chairman, is that okay with you?
Yeah, that's fine by me, I mean, that was.
I can sign it, it would be typical of us to call an engineer up anyway and say, get going on this, but just wanted you to be aware, there's a I think it's not to exceed $7,200 for the
No,
engineer.
it was 8766.
8766, okay. And also in the bid you just awarded, there's a $5,000 contingency for unknowns, which we will get a substantial portion back, so this job should come in pretty reasonable. Okay,
The 5,000 is in the 72.
correct.
Correct.
Consider a motion approving a proposal from Baxter and Women to conduct a topographic survey for the Gould Street Water Main project, for an amount not to exceed $9,300. So in the last committee meeting, we discussed Gould Street still being a priority. And the thought is until we go out to design in that, which is probably gonna be hopefully sometime soon, In the meantime, they would not be able to start a design until the topographic survey is done. And the topographic survey is, done much easier without snow on the ground. So the thought was to go ahead, I mean, this is all part of the process. It's in our plans to still do Gould Street, and move forward with it. It's just, that's the first stop. And you gotta get this survey done for them to be able to even start the design, to even come to us, for us to even be able to go to bid, to see where the pricing is on this, as to what year it'll fall in, if it would fall into, next year's budget or the following years. So, it's first step. Whenever it's done, you don't have to worry about it, it'll be good forever, so I'll go ahead and make a motion approving a proposal from Baxter and Women to conduct a topographic survey for the Gould Street Water Main Project for an amount not to exceed $9,300.
Motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
There's a second. Any questions on the motion? Roll call.
Kraus,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Capros,
Yes.
Whalen,
Yes.
Missouri.
Yes.
Alright, busy night. Consider a motion approving a change order from IHC in the amount of $29,618 for the installation of an external automatic transfer switch on the generator pad of the new sewer treatment plant. Originally, this switch was gonna be located inside the old control panel, or the old control building, but it was discovered now with everything in there that there's really not the room. So the plan is to move it to the outside, build a big pad, add in extra piping and everything else that needs to be done. The price for this is $29,618. Is what it is, doesn't fit inside, it's gotta go on the outside. So I'll go ahead and make a motion, approving a change order from IHC in the amount of $29,618 for the installation of an external automatic transfer switch on the generator pad in the new sewer treatment plant. And as a side note, this is only, what, 8% of the total
At least
contingency
we'll
that,
have three.
3% of the total contingency that
It's loan eligible.
that we have. It is loan eligible, so it's not the end of the world.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
There's a second, any questions on the motion? Roll call.
Missouri,
Yes.
Whalen.
Yes.
Capros,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Kraus.
Yes.
Alright, finally, end is near. Consider an ordinance amending the village code to eliminate the meter charge of $275 for each home turnover and replace it with a new account charge of $50 for a residential account and $100 for a commercial account. We've reached a point in our meter replacement program where there are more iPearls in the system than PPMs. Many homes have changed hands, which already have iPearls in and pay nothing. Some homes have had PPMs installed years ago and paid the $275, but are changing over again. This ordinance itself required a PPM meter to be installed, and we have not used this meter in the last 6 years since we started the meter replacement program. This new ordinance makes it a flat new account charge. It doesn't get into meter charges and that, it's just basically, here is the cost for transferring, it's got nothing to do with meters. This is the cost of starting a new account or transferring an account. It makes it cleaner, simpler, hopefully it makes things a lot easier for Donna. So I will go ahead and, you got an ordinance number there? 1297. I'll go ahead and make a motion, approving ordinance number 1297, amending the village code to eliminate the water meter charge of $275 for each home turnover and replace it with a new account charge of $50 for a residential account and $100 for a commercial account.
Motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
There's a second, any questions? Roll call.
Kraus,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Capros,
Yes.
Whalen.
Yes.
Missouri.
Yes.
You know, let somebody else take a turn?
Yeah, thank you, please.
John,
Yeah, right?
You should ask for a raise.
Yeah. Oh.
All right, consider a motion adopting the plans for the playground at Fireman's Park and authorizing the committee to begin purchasing the equipment contingent on receipt of the funds for the project. Now, what we did is, in your board packet, we have a plan with a list. The equipment's not going to change. The dollar amounts should be good. The only thing that we're still concerned about is the location down at the park. And Matt and myself met down there today. Matt, over the last 5 days, have spray painted areas, and I don't know if everybody received this or not, but he gave me a diagram as far as where these pipes and sewer lines and everything is going through that area. To this day, we still don't know exactly where the bathroom slab is, or the foundation is for the old bathrooms. So what we did is we went out there today and we figured out an area where this can go, and I amended the drawing that was in the packet, and it should be loose on your desk there, or on the table there, stating that we feel that the units could go end to end through that open area, because the pipes run east and west. The major ones do, and there's an area right in the middle. So what we thought is we could line that equipment up, and of course phase 1's going to be for the 2 to 5 year olds. So we're going to put the 2 to 5 year olds further on the west side of the plan, so it's kind of out there where people can see, and the younger kids and so on by the concession stand. Actually, these units, I did some rough measurements, and the actual equipment only is about a 17-foot north to south span going across. So we should have enough, in that area to do this. The only thing that I still caution is we're going to go with this plan, but it could slightly move a little bit depending on where we're at as far as we find the concrete or the pipes and so on. But this is real close to what we're doing. There's not going to be any changes as far as the equipment or anything like that. It's just due to the location. So we just felt that this was a good choice, and I think originally everybody agreed on this location as far as being by the concession stand, kind of in the middle of the park. And it incorporates the equipment. You notice by the pictures that we kind of kept that red roof theme, because all of our buildings have the red roof, and the actual playground equipment is red. And it also has the fire theme with the axes and the Fireman's Park and so on. So I think it's going to fit in really well. So hopefully we can go to these different, we still need additional funds, and we're hoping that a couple other organizations step up and donate, but you can pretty much, this is the final plan if it's approved tonight, and we're wanting to move forward with it. So
It was my understanding it would make your fundraising objective easier if you had the authority from the board to purchase the equipment to prove to them that this project's moving. Is that correct?
absolutely. What we want to do, and I think the equipment's going to take about 6 weeks to come in, so what we wanted to do is to start to order it, so in the springtime, when the weather starts to break, Matt can get out there and we can start staking things out and, digging some pilot holes and so on.
So in order to make your deadline of the first ball games in April, you almost have to order the stuff March 1st.
We'd like to order it pretty much as soon as possible. I don't know if we have room in the garage to.
We'd have to get that 18,000, correct?
We need them 18,000, correct. So we're hoping that, the organizations, we have 10,000 right now, so we need 8,000 to complete the project. I'm figuring 18 because the actual cost is $16,452, And that doesn't include any of the concrete or mulch or anything, you know, that we would do with that, so. Does anybody have any questions?
I got one. Bob, do you have any insight on where that concrete slab could potentially be? I mean, I remember the bathrooms being there, we've talked about it many times. We've hit it once, but that was
If I were
many
you,
years
I'd
ago.
pick the holes that you wanna drill it and go get the drill on the skid steer, and
Yeah.
start drilling and see what you get.
See what happens, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know where you hit it the last time?
No, that's
Forgot?
in the general area and it's all right around there. Me and Scott were looking for it today, trying to figure it out and,
Right, I can't remember, I can picture it.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
but you
mean,
can't be that deep, that
It's not.
foundation's gotta be
it's,
just several inches below grade.
Do me a favor, you find it, can we mark it?
I'll get a better.
Pop the light down so that way we can find it with a.
What are the chances of somebody having a picture like at the depot?
We could have that.
Yeah, we're gonna have
All the
paths in
relativities
there.
changed though, yeah.
Back then.
There's nothing else we could work on, maybe like the trees and line the trees or with hodges or something? I mean, it's an idea.
Well,
right, yeah, that's what we were
just took
kinda talking
a big
about.
tree down there
Yeah.
on the corner. As a matter of fact, I took that tree out of this, this drawing today. But that tree, it was a big,
Yeah,
How
that
big
tree
was
was
it?
there when that bathroom was there, so
Was,
if we
was
could.
that, was that old washroom north of the footbridge? I always thought it was south of the footbridge.
this north.
It was north, wow.
Yeah,
You know how you,
That's why the concession stand is on the south side of the walk, right?
That's, yeah, cause it was clean there, yeah.
yeah, so, you know what, the way it's set up now, there's not that much of an area, you know, and we're talking a thin area there, so it doesn't matter if the mulch and the timbers go over those
Right.
pipes. I mean, it's part of the playground, it's just when we sink the poles, the posts in, you know, that's where we have to be concerned with, and I don't, you know, it's a pretty good, the odds are pretty good that we're gonna be able to get it in like this,
oh yeah.
so.
Our motion.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion adopting the plans for the playground in Fireman's Park, which may be amended as far as location and placement of the, because of the pipes or tiles, and authorizing the committee to begin purchasing the equipment contingent on receipt of funds for the project. And this is phase one. So I want to add that too. Phase two isn't even on the board right now.
May I also suggest a dollar amount, not to exceed?
Not to exceed 18,000.
Everybody's okay with that? It's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
There is a second. Any questions? Roll call.
Zerk? Yes. Whalen?
Yes.
Pearls?
Yes.
Meyer?
Yes.
Kraus?
Yes.
What I'd like to do at this moment for some of the newbies, trustees, is several years back, a resident by the name of Trish Moran came into my office with a book of ideas of fire playground equipment. And while we're following that theme, I'd like to just say thank you, Trish, because you gave us that idea years ago and we're following through with it. So those of you that know her, I don't see her very often, please pass it on. Steve, I'm sorry, Marcy.
For discussion, the property tax levy for 2018, collectible in 2019. Property tax levy is typically considered at the second meeting in November. Tax caps have the extension increase limited to the COLA, or about 2%, which would generate an additional $12,112 to the general fund. We have not increased the levy since 2011, and the committee feels we should go at least one more year without a levy increase, since the EAV is not yet rebounded, meaning tax rates are still high. The current levy stands at $605,333, and it is recommended that we keep it at that level, unless anyone else wants to do something different.
No discussion?
No.
Radio silence.
Next item.
Request for a closed session to discuss personnel matters. We need to read the whole thing, or? The appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees. consider a request from the chief and the public safety committee to hire 4 part-time police officer candidates, to the hiring on the 5th candidate after remaining 4 complete their training. The thought is to hire 4 now and have a 5th in reserve in the event one of the 4 or one from the current roster of part-time officers leaves employment. This will provide us room to keep a full staff for the coming year or so. The purpose of the executive session is to review the candidates, seek any input before they are officially hired. The police department is hired. The police department by ordinance is allowed to have 12 part-time officers on staff. We currently only have 5, 2 of the 5 being eligible for full-time employment with the police department for the remainder of the fiscal year.
That's the part I didn't think he had to read. Do we have to old business?
So I'd like to make a request for closed session to discuss personal matters.
Is that a motion?
Let me
Would you
make a
just read
motion.
it? Is that a motion now?
Yes.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Kraus,
Yes.
Myers,
Yes.
Bruce,
Yes.
Wheeling,
Yes.
Missouri.
Yes.
Chief, you can stay, Matt, you're